वेलकम बैक जी। आप देख रहे हैं गेम ऑन है। प्लीज आप इस वक्त ऑन एयर हो चुके हैं।
जी जी मुझे पता सर।
Yeah.
हम ऑफ एयर होते हैं। Getting complacent aren't they?
They are getting complacent. David, they can lose the next match. This team is quite complacent against some very hardcore professionals. You think so?
Are we talking about these four here, or
Yeah, these four here? So, David, today the first match, it was quite interesting. That Bangladesh they posted a pretty decent total, Sharjah 171, and we saw Mushfiqur Rahim joining the party and belting quite a few. And of course, that opener named Sheikh did really well, 62 or 52 deliveries. And then the Mushfiq was like more devastating. And then Sri Lanka, they just romped home at a breakneck speed. That youngster, like Charita Asalanka, he got 80 of 49 deliveries, 6 4s and 6 6s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
5 and 5?
5 and 5. 5 4 and 5.
According to your statistics here.
These are correct. 5 and 5. 5 4. Because I'm so excited, overwhelmed. Pakistan has beaten India by 10 wickets. So now to this. How do you see this game of cricket and Sri Lanka's attitude?
The two things that struck everyone straight away was there were decent runs on the board. The Sharjah pitch was not quite as dead as people feared, and there's some very positive batting. So it was a good start. I mean, it was an interesting toss because people suggested there that batting first would be the better option. So to bowl first, and I thought Sri Lanka didn't bowl very well to start with. They're a bit wayward. So the opportunities were there, but Nauman Sheikh played very well. And they got off to a nice brisk start. So that highlights the difference between getting runs on the board early, setting a bit of a platform, having something to work with later on in the innings, and you go to bigger targets, bigger totals. Whereas obviously the game we've just been talking about, the more important game, as I understand, had a very different start. And then the key thing, which Viv actually alluded to earlier, is that if you want to keep a chase under control, what you have to do is take easy catches.
All right.
So poor old Lytton Das, who, okay, I know, I mean, I don't want to name names, but Lytton Das is the man who dropped 2 catchable catches.
Catchable catches.
Very catchable catches. Give him the gloves back.
All right.
He obviously needs the gloves wherever he is.
So Viv, your new friend is Lytton Das because you mentioned that he was the one who actually let it slip away from Bangladesh.
Well, he certainly gave hope to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And I know for sure we're supposed to be in a period where they're supposed to be some of the best fieldsmen in the world.
Yeah.
The game's supposed to have moved on. I didn't see that today. In terms of the fielding department. Yeah. It was just awful. And I can only imagine if you are a fielding coach, if you have any, I don't think that whoever would have any hair left if he had any.
All right.
Because it was just poor fielding.
So you think that Sri Lanka is the team which can be challenged in the due course of this competition?
Well, the run chase, they're pretty much helped.
Yeah.
Pretty much helped by some poor fielding and catching.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you don't expect to win. I could see the coach at some point. He was in the back when those 2 catches went down. He was looking for a hole to drop in.
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing for coaches. When you see things like that.
Do you think that the Sri Lankan fast bowlers, they're express fast bowlers, but at the end of the day, they bowl too short?
But David said it. He said that earlier.
Yeah.
They were a little bit, gave a lot of width.
And all over the place.
And gave a lot of width.
Yeah.
When they went too short, you gave width, and you don't give width to these Bangladeshi batters.
I mean, it's interesting because it highlights how good the skills were in the other game.
Yeah.
Because there's not so much of that. And obviously getting those, going back to Shaheen Afridi, getting that ball in exactly the right place at the key moment right at the start there makes that huge difference.
All right.
Whereas if you have a few loose deliveries in those opening 3 or 4 overs, a batsman goes, thank you very much, there's space, I can hit that for 4, the total goes up, your confidence goes up, and the game has a very different pace to it.
All right, so if we could see, man of the match was obviously Charit Asalanka. So, what would you like to say about this youngster? He's an ambidextrous, bowls right arm off spin.
Well, let's talk about his batting because that was the thing that got him the man of the match award. Watching him today, and there were comments on the commentary about the comparison to Syed Janasuriya.
Yeah.
And wherever you live in the world, you have heroes when you're growing up, You try sometimes to consciously emulate the way they bat, and if you succeed, when you're trying to copy someone like Sanat Jayasuriya, you become a good player. But he's got shots all around the wicket, he's got confidence, you've got the short boundary, of course, that sometimes helps you, but shots like that, for instance, I mean, that is a high quality, beautifully timed off drive, and if you use the outside edge now and again, that's one of the skills that left-handers have.
That's a good one.
Well done.
So, Shoaib, you like Sharat Asalanka? He's just a new kid on the block.
बहुत अच्छा खेला है. At will मारा उसने.
Yeah.
At will मारते मारते उसने अपना गेम बनाई. But there is a ball to be hit. और आपको ये पता भी है कि ना ये the situation is there. You know, he's capitalized beautifully on that. And once you know your game and you know what kind of shots you can apply, and then things become very easier for you. And these are youngster side, you know, young side, and I think their coach is Mickey Arthur, right?
Yeah,
The one you sacked?
yeah, he sacked that coach.
I rest my case.
And Mahela Jayawardena is their consultant. Mahela Jayawardena is their consultant.
He is a brilliant, brilliant coach, man. He is a very visionary guy, Mahela. And what a competitor he was when he was out there at the bat as a batsman. And now as a coach, that is very visionary. And plus, the blend of Mickey Arthur and Jayawardena is transforming the Sri Lankan side. But don't we need Sri Lankan back on the track?
Yeah,
Don't we need as a nation that just West Indies and everyone that's come back to life again and just give us a hard time?
Yeah.
Don't we need as a Pakistan is a great test team?
Yeah.
Then just go out there and compete with the bigger sides.
Yeah.
So we need those sort of nations. The only 4 nations are playing cricket, and the rest of us are basically watching. So
When you look at the first, the teams that's rated, the world champions, which are West Indians,
Yeah.
they're not in the picture.
Yeah.
When you look at that first 5,
Yeah.
and that is pretty sad and dismal for West Indian fans.
Well, so we would definitely talk about the decline in West Indies cricket, but obviously...
But still, I still believe, and this is my firm belief, that still a lot of cricket left in that West Indies team.
yeah.
All right.
And we all came to the conclusion that it's only the first match. There's a lot of cricket to be played.
Yes,
A lot of cricket
definitely.
to be played.
Okay. Rashid bhai or Aaqib, Banukar Rajapakse, he has been performing. Pakistan भी आया था और बहुत अच्छा perform किया. Dominant उसका एक ही हाथ है जो उस दिन आप बात कर रहे थे. Square of the wicket बहुत एक हाथ से खेलता है. आज भी he was like he polarized Bangladesh.
सर मैच अगर देखा जाए अगर ज़्यादा देंगे डीप जाना है तो फिर
हाँ जी बिल्कुल आप डीप चलें.
सर इसमें मैच में अगर देखें 10वें ओवर में आउट हुए हैं तो उसके बाद राजा पक्षिक गए बैटिंग करने के लिए गए हैं उसको 9 रन चाहिए थे 10 ओवर में और 18वें 19वें ओवर में मैच खत्म हो गया तो 86 की पार्टनरशिप हुई है 44 बॉल पे जिसमें 53 इन्होंने किया 33 सामने वाले ने किया जो आपके प्लेयर है
मेरे प्लेयर हैं जो
और
असलंका
तो जो गेम जो जितवाया है वो राजा पक्षी ने जिताया जो हर बॉल के ऊपर जो आप बोलते हैं अजहर महमूद के जो ऑलराउंडर है सैफ नाम है
हाँ जी,
उनको एक ओवर में उन्होंने मैच ही खत्म कर दिया तो इसमें अगर आप देखा जाए नंबर 6 पे आके एक प्लेयर ने पूरे मैच की सिचुएशन चेंज कर दी अगर 90 रन चाहिए थे इनके तकरीबन 10 ओवर में 79 रन थे वहां से आके गेम को जिता देना सिंगल हैंडेडली मैच जिताया ठीक है उनके 80 रन आखिर में आ रहे हैं नजर लेकिन जो गेम जितवाया है वो
आपके ख्याल में मैन ऑफ द मैच बनूकर राजापक्ष से बनते थे
एग्जैक्टली
और चरित असलंका नहीं बनते थे Oh, so he has challenged the man of the match. He thinks that Banukar Rajapaksa should have been awarded that.
इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर
Impact.
So, Doctor, an interesting
Yeah, interesting.
observation. Two extremes.
Yeah,
Bangladesh played only one fast bowler
yeah.
and one
मीडियम प्लेयर
medium pacer.
Yeah. Azhar's favorite, Mohammad Safuddin.
But
Yeah,
they didn't pick Tusky,
yeah. That's kind of
okay? And they picked like 4 spinners.
Spinners,
Yeah.
And all of the spinners are finger spinners,
Yeah.
ordinary ones.
Yeah.
If you didn't get something on the pitch,
Yeah.
there's nothing special.
All right.
So it means they were playing even more Turner than Sharjah. And Sri Lanka picked 5 seamers. They were playing it part. So the balance wasn't there. If you see if they could have like another spinner in Sri Lankan side,
Yeah.
it would have been lesser than 171.
Okay.
और दूसरा अगर आप देखते हैं
वो आपने मिस आउट किया ना उनका महेश जो है तिक्षाना
तो कोई और तो होना चाहिए ना
था, अकीला धनंजय है उनके पास, बट
लेकिन उस तरह से
दे ऑप्टेड फॉर, वो सना ने शायद हाईलाइट किया था कि व्हाट वाज द रीजन, दे थॉट कि इनके जो फास्ट बॉलर्स हैं वो बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट दे हैड परफॉर्म्ड क्रेडिबली।
लेकिन पिच भी तो देखनी है।
आप पिच भी देखिए,
लेकिन आई थॉट कि उन्होंने बॉलिंग अच्छी नहीं की स्टार्ट में ना, बहुत वेवर्ड बॉलिंग की है, शॉर्ट ऑफ लेंथ बॉल की
डेविड सेड,
या बहुत साइड ऑफ द विकेट बॉल की हैं। जब हमने देखा है जब भी जिस बॉलर ने लाके विकेट पे मारा बॉल विकेट टू विकेट किया उसने मुश्किल डाला।
अब देखिए ना हमारी पाकिस्तान बॉलिंग को हम क्यों कह रहे हैं कि इट्स अ कंप्लीट बॉलिंग यूनिट। You have pace, you have left arm spinner, you have leggy, you have off spinner. So this is what makes a good composition as bowling unit. One dimension you can go either way.
आई थिंक वही एंड पे वही फास्ट बॉलर की जरूरत पड़ गई जब उनके स्पिनर्स को रन्स पड़ रहे थे, तो ऐसा कोई बॉलर नहीं था कि जो आके ना हिट करे जो हार्ड लेंथ है और तस्कीन होता 140 प्लस वो बॉल करता है उनके पास। आई थिंक वो एक ही पैसेज के साथ मैच खेल लेते, वो सेफ भी था तो मीडियम पैसे ही।
सिर्फ नाराज हो जाएंगे, मोहम्मद सैफुद्दीन के फेवरेट हैं।
No, they bowled one seamer short.
Okay.
You know, like
They went in one seamer shot.
आप T20 फॉर्मेट में ना आप 16 ओवर्स में अनलेस के टर्निंग रड़ा बिल्कुल आपका हुआ है तो फिर आप कर सकते हो। तो फास्ट बॉलर आपको चाहिए होता है कि आप, और सारे लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर है ना, एक जैसी बात करें ना, लेग स्पिनर है ना कोई ऑर्थोडॉक्स फिंगर स्पिनर है, सारे एक जैसे ही हैं, तो इट्स इजी फॉर द बैट्समैन टू लाइन अप।
और आई थिंक दूसरी उनकी जो टीम कम्बिनेशन थोड़ी सी मेरे ख्याल से जिस तरह लिटन दास बैक टू बैक मैचेस में फ्लॉप हो रहा है, उसका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल भी वही था। आपने देखा कि फील्ड में उसने कैचेस भी ड्रॉप किए। बैटिंग ऑर्डर उनकी थोड़ी सी ये है कि उस पर है रिजर्वेशन, क्योंकि लास्ट मैच में जिस तरह हमने बात की कि महमूदुल्लाह काफ़ी नीचे आ रहा है, उसने फिर लास्ट मैच में शो किया, वो ऊपर आया, उसका स्ट्राइक रेट बड़ा अच्छा था। इस मैच में फिर वही नज़र आया, आफीफ हुसैन उससे पहले ही आया जो कि समझ से बाहर है।
ओके,
डॉग इसमें क्या है, विकेट कीपिंग इसको मुशफ़िक और रहीम को करनी
So,
पड़ेगी,
balance out
वो
हो
तो
गया।
बैटिंग कर नहीं रहे, तो एक बॉलर या एक बैट्समैन ऐड कर सकते हैं ये लोग।
ऐड कर सकते
Okay.
और यहाँ पे आपको पार्ट टाइम कीपर ही पूरी दुनिया में कर रहे हैं कीपिंग, तो करने दें।
किसको?
मुशी ने आज वैसे 50 रन किए
Extraordinary किया।
एज ए विकेट कीपिंग क्यों नहीं कर रहा?
Okay.
खेल रहा है,
So
वो
he
नहीं
has-
कुछ कर रहा है।
Yeah, he has a point. He is saying that
Batting
Mushfiqur
को करें,
Rahim
ये
has
लोग as a keeper क्यों
dropping
खिला
the gloves, and it has left the Bangladesh team imbalanced because Nurul Hassan is there, and so they could have added another bowler if Mushfiqur Rahim was keeping wickets and batting. So your word, and then we can just wind up, sir, because we have to see my favorite Rajapaksa today, Banuka Rajapaksa. Yeah.
Well, yeah, these teams, selection is tricky,
Yeah.
and especially if you don't have the strength, for instance, that Pakistan has shown. And Aaqib's point, very good one, the balance, the variety, covering all bases. You've got lovely people to pick from. And, okay, as Viv says correctly, it is the start of the tournament. Build on that. For the sides that know they are not as strong, they don't have the strength in depth of performers, and they are also rebuilding in something. Sri Lanka, for instance, this is part of their rebuilding.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to just try and get the best you can out of every man. But you're right. If you have an option to select someone that improves that group, improves that 11, change the balance. If you need the extra bowler, then you might well have to go for it. Because they've obviously got some batting that puts runs on the board now, Bangladesh, as now has Sri Lanka. So yes, then it's a question about how do you reduce the runs of the opposition.
All right, so if you could see Banuka Rajapaksa scoring that fabulous half century today. And so, Viv, if you could describe his innings, because according to Rashid, he's the impact player. He's the man who has
Had some room.
been making them win.
Little improvisation.
Yeah.
And
Not the best catching.
And further improvisation.
Wow.
again,
We just want gone to the lights. Wow, that was a brilliant shot. That as well was the real slug corner stuff. Too much room. Paid the price.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, Sanat. Sir, it's always a pleasure to host you here in the Islamabad studios. Thank you very much for coming over.
I'm still disappointed the two guys didn't turn up.
And couple of them are already on the injury list now. So the headmaster is not bad. Huh? Thank you very much, Shoaib. Always a pleasure. And my co-host, please, if you could wind up for us. Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's been a fantastic night. It's been a brilliant day for Pakistan cricket. We've enjoyed the cricket immensely. We have a long way to go. We just want to make that one health warning at the bottom of the screen. There's a long, long way to go.
बहुत शुक्रिया उमर, थैंक यू वेरी मच अजहर एंड राशिद,
Thank you,
आपका
Dr.
बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया आकिब, जावेद। और कल जी 4 बजे शाम को ऑब्वियसली कल एक मैच है जो कि 7 बजे शुरू होगा, अफगानिस्तान वर्सेस स्कॉटलैंड, जो कि ग्रुप बी का मैच है और शारजा क्रिकेट स्टेडियम में वो खेला जाएगा। आकिब्स फेवरेट शारजा, ये मेरे को होस्ट हैं पंजाबी के, और कल हम इस पे तबसरा करेंगे एंड विल बी ऑन एयर एट 4 PM जो कि इंग्लिश सेगमेंट होगा एंड देन 5:15 I'll have my bad boys joining me in Urdu। और आप अपना बहुत ख्याल रखें, इजाज़त दीजिए, गेम ऑन है।